Children are constantly being exposed to the message society gives about the importance of being thin. They begin to feel as if what they were born with is no longer enough. Anorexia is an eating disorder where people starve themselves. It usually begins in young people around the onset of puberty. Individuals suffering from anorexia have extreme weight loss. Weight loss is usually 15% below the person's normal body weight. People suffering from anorexia are very skinny, but are convinced that they are overweight. 50% of girls between the ages of 11 and 13 see themselves as overweight. 80% of 13-year-olds have attempted to lose weight. And the mortality rate associated with anorexia is 12 times higher than the death rate of all causes of death for females 15 to 24 years old.
Obesity is a term used to describe body weight that is much greater than what is considered healthy. If you're obese, you have a much higher amount of body fat that is healthy or desirable. Children spend a substantial portion of their lives watching television. Investigators have hypothesized that television viewing causes obesity in one or more three mechanisms. 1. Displacement of physical activity. 2. Increased calorie consumption while watching or caused by the effects of advertising. And 3. Reduced resting metabolism. The relationship between television viewing and obesity has been examined in a relatively large number of cross-sectional epidemiologic studies but few longitudinal studies. Only 6.1% of children between the ages of 12 and 19 were considered overweight in the 1971 to 1974 survey, while 17.4% of children at this age were overweight in a more recent 2003 to 2004 survey. In 12 to 17-year-old adolescents, the prevalence of obesity increased by 2% for each additional hour of television viewed. Television is the medium with which children spend the most time, 2.5 hours each day. 26% of U.S. children watch 4 or more hours of television per day. 67% of U.S. children watch 2 or more hours per day. Almost half, 48% of all families with tweens, have all 4 of the latest media samples: TV, VCR, video game equipment, and a computer. The bedroom of a 21st century child is a multimedia environment. Of children 9 to 13 years old, more than half, 57%, have a TV in the bedroom, 39% have a video game equipment, 30% have a VCR, 20% have a computer, and 11% have internet access. The American Academy of Pediatrics issued a position paper in February 2001 which noted that its research has shown children and adolescents are particularly vulnerable to the messages conveyed through television, which influence their perceptions and behaviors.
Violence in video games may lead to desensitization in children. 90% of teens report that their parents never check video game ratings or do not understand them. Critics of video games, while acknowledging the potential positive effects of video games on cognitive development, cite graphic violence, sexuality, and portrayal of criminal activities in a positive or entertaining light as harmful. In fact, most critics of video games cite Columbine shooters Klebold and Harris's fascination of video games such as Doom and Wolfenstein 3D as a basis for such claims, while further elaborating that the restriction of computer access might have further contributed to the horrendous acts.
Violence in the media, including anorexia, obesity, television viewing, and violence in the video games, are major threats to today's society. We need to unite and spread awareness before it is too late.